something you can't fix.
If you can't fix what's broken, you'll go insane.
It's Jay and Adam. It's Preview.
It's Preview's Fix It with Adam and Jay.
Hey, Peaches, welcome to Fix It with Adam and Jay. We're friends. Don't let friends fix it alone.
I'm Adam!
And I'm Jay! And you're our listener.
Hi, listeners.
And or watcher.
Oh, yes. We're doing two versions of this at the same time.
Oh, the synergy. Can you feel it?
We're in the big leagues, baby!
Ooh, you know, that's one thing making content I've loved is that synergy tingle.
Jay, is your synergy tingles happening again?
Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah, we're high tide rises all boats. We just added a cooking show to our repertoire where we can do anything. We're invincible. We're invincible.
Yeah, I was like, let's start a podcast. All right, we'll start a podcast. Hey, Travis William likes us. D&D? D&D it is!
Kimberly and Amanda both want to start a cooking show simultaneously.
Oh, well.
Well, slap them together. Let's make a show.
Sure, why not?
For those of you who have never listened to our show before or don't know who we are Adam and Jay, both the left guy and right guy of the amazingly popular YouTube channel Previewed.
We're getting there.
We're getting there, baby. And we take things from pop culture that we don't necessarily think completely hit the mark.
I mean, it was probably good.
Yeah. But
could be better.
Could be better. And we fix it. Today we're going to be fixing the... You know, it's funny. I was about to say much maligned, but I think this movie actually
No, this one people like this one.
People like this one.
Yes.
The 2000s classic, the original X-Men.
The original X-Men movie.
The original X-Men movie.
The first one that proved it was possible to make X-Men movies.
Yeah,
and
I know
after that. They made X-Men films after that.
They sure
to
did.
Varying degrees of quality.
They sure did. I know this goes without saying, but for those of you at home who are wondering, do these guys know? These are our opinions. And these are what I like to call pie-in-the-sky corrections. Because a lot of the things I'm sure we're going to bring up wouldn't be possible in the time frame that it was done.
Nope. We're going to talk about that,
wouldn't be possible on the size of its budget.
Nope.
But we don't care.
No, we don't. Because we're in the future.
We're in the future, baby.
The stuff on Corridor is amazing, and they're pulling stuff off with, no budget. So, come on now, Disney. Come on. You can make X-Men awesome. So.
Yeah, I think they can.
Oh, they will.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope we didn't get bonered for nothing. You know what I mean? I'm still mad about it.
Until it is corrected, I continue to stay mad.
But Adam, before we fix it today, how are you doing?
I'm very nervous, Jay.
Nervous about what?
It's May. By the way, this is a banked episode. If you guys aren't aware of this is the second time we're recording an episode. This is a banked episode for some time in the future when something came up and we couldn't record that week. Or maybe it's a holiday. I don't know when you guys are listening to this or watching this, but right now, currently, it is May 3rd, 2022.
Oh, yeah.
So the Midsummarmageddon is 4 weeks away.
Yes.
And I'm getting kind of scared.
Okay.
It's going to be a lot.
It's going to be a lot.
And we are working our butt off working on the podcast and working on the D&D show. Oh, which, by the way, you probably may know what it is already. It's called Bonus Action. You may have watched an episode or two.
Maybe.
Or maybe you're about to.
Or maybe you're like, hey, guys, maybe it completely fell apart.
Quite possibly. It's like, oh, those poor guys, they're talking about a thing that's about to blow up in their faces and never come to fruition.
They have no idea.
They have no idea. It's the thing that breaks apart Preview.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're trying to get as much done as possible before we go into basically lockdown for at least 6 weeks.
Uh-huh.
And it's just like, oh boy, some things are still in the air. We're still kind of getting all of our ducks in a row to be able to, we're battening down the hatches. We're getting all our supplies, but we haven't gotten all of them yet.
Yeah.
So until such time as we're ready to go in the bunker, I'm still a little like,
It's funny. I'm actually on the other side of the coin on that, I think.
Really?
Which you wouldn't think. This
I
is
would
not
not
normally the take.
Nope.
But no, I'm preview at merchandise.com. Check it out. Adam's weird face mug. I'm so sorry. But I'm excited about it. Mostly because it's just, I feel like from a content perspective, we are at our best when we have too much on our plate.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be punching inside of a hurricane for about 2 months.
We're going to be punching inside of a hurricane. But I think that's when we kind of hit our stride, I think. That's when our videos are the funniest. That's when they're the most fun.
Well, we get really tired.
We get weird. We get so weird. And it's great. And it's also, it's that we get weird, but there's also that level of, we have 2 other videos to make today. There's not as much pressure on us to make sure it's a good one. Because specifically, like now, we've really only had Moon Knight. Yeah. Which has been great. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong; those episodes have done well.
Yeah,
it's a great show, but there is that little amount of pressure when we're like, well, this is our episode this week.
Yep.
Like we're doing other things here and there. Mm-hmm. You know, we're streaming a lot. We're out there. Mm-hmm. But from a YouTube perspective, I hope we're good. Oh, because and then when we get to Midsummergeddon, it's like, there's another episode tomorrow. Like, whatever.
Just gotta crank them out.
Just
here comes the Stranger Things. Yep. Here come those crazy kids again and their psychic powers.
Cranking up the big balls.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm also going to enjoy when we are inundated because I just like, cranking out episodes. I like it when we have a lot of stuff going on because bits start sliding into different, like, if we had like a
we don't have the momentum. We don't have the momentum to have running gags right now.
Exactly. But like bits will cross over between different shows. Things will bleed over. But also just that momentum will just from video to video. It's like, okay, here this then we got 3 boys in a row, and then Obi-Wan, and then Miss Marvel starts that next week, and then the boys again, and then Obi-Wan, and then the Stranger, and then like Umbrella Academy. Like the hits are just gonna keep coming. For 2 months straight, and it's just going to be video after video after video, and that momentum is going to be a hell of a ride.
Yeah.
Because on top of all that, we're going to be having a new editor help us during it, because there's no way I'm going to be able to survive doing it by myself.
But I think that's also going to make it a little bit, it's going to definitely like, I think I'm hopeful that it's going to be a little bit easier than we think.
Oh, I hope so too. But it's nice when it's kind of like a rally around the flag moment of like, we're all in this together.
Absolutely.
We got, everyone works together to do it, because then we're probably going to be recording some of these when we have an opportunity here and there. Those, after those first few weeks of, when you get inundated with the bulk releases, when we're down to a weekly schedule for, in the back half of June, it was like, great, we have just a couple of weeks of breathing room.
Yeah.
Okay, more podcasts. Here we go. But also probably do a little D&D here and there. Like, it's going to really feel like we are really in the trenches doing it. And it's going to feel great. And, everyone, especially when the community's the community's fantastic. And everyone's making their own stuff right now. And it's like, it's a lot of fun. But, like, when we have all of these shows to talk about and all the memes that are popping up and all the silly jokes that just pop out of our faces, like, it's just, the whole thing's going to be popping. It's going to be like basically a party all summer.
Yeah.
I hope.
What do you think is going to be the most... What show do you think is going to get the most views?
The most Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Okay.
What show do I think deserves more views than it'll probably get? The
She-Hulk.
Boys.
Oh, The Boys. Well, here's the thing about The Boys. I feel like we both... I remember texting you because like, hey, you need to watch The Boys. And you're like, oh, is it good? Like, how far are you in? And I was like, I finished it. I inhaled it. In one day. I watched The Boys season 1 in one day. But that show is really good, but it is a little gritty. It's a little bridge too far for some folks.
A little gritty?
Yeah, I understand, like, I think it's a really great show, but like from a reaction perspective, like, it's good to see like the big like, oh, what? But at a certain point also, it's like, I understand when people are like, that show is entirely too much. And I was like, I get it. No.
Well, and this season's going to be
Nuts.
Herogasm's in it. That storyline's part of it this season. So like, it's gonna be. If you guys haven't read the boys' books, it's way different than the show. By the way, it's definitely a different flavor.
Yeah.
But that book does not pull any punches. It's
Yeah.
gonna be.
But I think the show is more fun than the book ever was.
It is more fun. It is more fun.
Because I remember reading the first collected like run.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I've read. But at a certain point, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Cool. We're all monsters. Fun. Oh, this is all real sad and great. Okay. Like, is this supposed to be funny? Because this doesn't feel very funny to me at all.
It's kind of tragic.
I think we both know what the sleeper hit of that whole run is going to be. She-Hulk.
Oh well, She-Hulk doesn't come out this summer.
Oh.
At least later on in the fall, I think.
Oh, She-Hulk's in the fall. For some reason,
I
had She-Hulk in the mix, and I got really excited.
Oh, I still can't wait for She-Hulk. But after Miss Marvel, we still have What If and She-Hulk coming out this year at some point.
But you also have to remember, much like we might get a Cowboy Bebop in here.
It's possible, but like Stranger Things and Umbrella Academy are both.
Yeah.
It's not the first season of a thing. They're not new properties.
That's fair.
People like the stuff.
Yeah.
People are, we're clamoring for the when we're recording this, the Umbrella Academy trailer has not dropped yet. They're still doing like little teasers on Twitter and stuff like that of like the characters that are in the Sparrow Academy.
Sure.
Which I think was the name of the place they jumped into.
Yeah.
At the new present. But I don't know, people really like that show. So
yeah, it's Kimberly's favorite show.
And for
she
good reason.
Absolutely loves that show.
It's very good.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
Yeah. So I'm good, but just a little nervous. How are you doing?
Allergies, man. There's so much pollen in the air. I'm dying. It's never usually this bad, but I was just like, I couldn't, like, the day at Kitchen at Best Friends, like, I was just like retiring to the bathroom to blow my nose like every 10 minutes. It was just like, I'm just making mucus. I'm just so full of pollen, and like my eyes were watering like the whole time. I couldn't see straight. It was terrible. But that's the thing about allergies is that like I feel fine. If anything, like it's making me mad because it's getting in the way of trying. I was like, I have the energy and the wherewithal to be a normal human being right now, but I can't. But like this is not letting me be a normal human being. It's really frustrating. I think I'm just getting old, man. I'm getting old.
It's possible.
Ugh.
I mean, you are in your 50s.
Yeah. Early to late
50s.
Depending on where you read.
Depending on who you ask, yeah.
Yeah. And Adam's immortal, so
I'm fine. Usually, like I've had allergies in the past. Not putting my contacts in, blowing my nose, but like I don't know. Maybe it's just staying inside for the past couple years.
It's gotta be what it is because It's never been bad.
I'm doing great.
All right.
I am an indoor person. Apparently, I should just
apparently.
Dude,
are you about to tell me that it's a surprise to you?
No, not in the least.
Okay.
But just like, but growing up, I still like went out and did things, right?
Yeah.
And now, like the past couple of years, I truly have just like, well, I'm not going out until I actually have to.
Yeah.
And like, I have never been better. So, apparently,
you do good in prison. Is what you're saying.
I'd also do good on a space mission to Mars. If you just need somebody, like if you need a morale officer, this guy.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, possibly. Routine in a small cramped place.
I think I don't think you're morale officer. You're operations officer.
Oh, I'm just making sure everyone's doing their job.
Yeah, you're the 00.
Okay.
You're the 00 that's like checks out. I mean, I'm morale officer.
That's true.
I'm making sure everyone's okay. You are facilitating people being okay by maintaining the routine.
Yes, because I can't do the math involved to do space.
No. And you shouldn't have to.
It's too much math.
I don't think you need that much math when you're up there. What? Okay. I don't think you need that much math to be an astronaut. Follow me. You're already up there. I think the majority of the math is getting you up there.
But dude, if you're off by like a percentage point or a decimal place, like your trajectory is, you're gone.
But need I remind you how much computer is in that space shuttle? You know what I mean?
Sure.
They're doing all that math for you.
I mean, they did go to the moon with a phone less powerful than the stuff we have now.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
I feel like they just send a pilot up there. It's like flying any other kind of ship. I don't think you need to... Okay, I think you need to be intelligent, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
But I don't think you need to be a math savant to make it work.
I don't know. Starfleet is full of people who are really good at equations and fractals.
I think... No, but if we learned anything from most... the pilot, you just need, bravado. you know? You just need...
Get someone who has the feeling.
Yeah, you need gumption. You need that,
Yeah.
you know? You need the can-do spirit. That's what you need. I don't think Buzz Lightyear knew, once we see his movie, maybe he's a mathematician. I don't know. They're putting a lot of backstory on a friggin' toy, but whatever. Oh, man. Coming next year, it's we're just going to have, it's going to be about the man who painted the portrait of Dorian Gray. And it's he technically painted the portrait, so he inspired the story, but his story was even more interesting than the story of Dorian Gray. What's happening right now in popular culture with that?
Hey everybody, producer Brian here. Just wanted to say that the portrait of Dorian Gray was painted by the character Basil Howard, and quite frankly, I think it could be super interesting to see what happened to him before that book. Just saying.
We need to know, well, we can't come up with anything new, so we need to mine what's already there, and a lot of origins for things that are unknown.
Yeah. I don't know, man. All right. Shall we talk about X-Men?
So you're good?
I'm good.
That's good.
I'm good. I'm full of mucus. Yeah. A little ASMR. I'll throw some chatters in the chat for the mucus. I hate me too. I'm sorry.
Ew.
Yeah, I don't like
You
it.
say that, and I can think about those Mucinel commercials of the okay, I'm home.
It's me, TJ Miller. I'm here to...
I'm a giant talking burger.
I'm a big evil booger. And the medicine's like, get out of here, booger. To be fair, those are pretty satisfying commercials. It is.
Whoa.
It is fun getting a booger out of there. Have you ever done a neti pot? Have you ever squeezed out your sinuses?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that's when you've had a sinus infection and you finally get that one out and you're just like, oh, I'm a new man. Oh man. Oh, I can go take on the world.
Well, the fact that
I've got enough gumption to fly a spaceship.
Yeah.
Woohoo! I got a little pep in my step. Let's go be astronauts.
Let's go.
Whee!
So yeah, I think we're good.
I think we're good.
We're good.
All right. Let's fix X-Men. We could do research about the information about this movie, or
we could
just toss it to Brian. Brian, roll that beautiful mean movie trivia.
Today we are trying to fix 2000's X-Men, directed by Bryan Singer, written by David Hayter, starring Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Halle Berry, Hugh Jackman, Famke Janssen, James Marsden, Rebecca Romaine Stamos at the time, Bruce Davidson, Anna Paquin, and Ray Park. This had the third highest opening day at the time in the US, behind The Phantom Menace and Jurassic Park: The Lost World. Overall, worldwide, it made $296.3 million on a $75 million budget. If you care, this has an 82% on Rotten Tomatoes. Back to you, gentlemen.
Good job, Brian.
Great job, Brian.
Oh my, so many facts and figures.
And beans.
People's names that were there. I do remember who directed this movie because he's infamous now. At the time he was fine, but now he's like, ew.
Yeah. Yeah. He who shall not be named.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. But he who should not be named did a pretty good job with this movie.
It's funny. I really did not like this movie when it came out because I was really big into X-Men. They were one of X-Men was the first comic I ever would buy.
Yeah, man.
Go be yes. I would keep up with X-Men.
Yes.
That's the one book.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my foray into Marvel.
Yes.
Because a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's Spider-Man. I'm like, I bought Spider-Man every once in a while, but
sure.
X-Men was the book that got me into it.
Well, this was 2000. The X-Men cartoon had been on for a couple years at this point.
And
that was the show.
That's yes.
That was the successor to Batman the Animated Series as the cartoon show. In the afternoons 100%. For kids. And so that led people to that's led me into comics.
100%. Well, that's why I got so excited when they were going to continue on with that cartoon, because I was like, this cartoon is the reason I like the Marvel Universe. Like, full stop. Because I started buying the books because of this, and then it was off to the races.
What was your first Xbook?
Oh my gosh. It was I will never forget it. I can't remember. It was with Mr. Sinister, and it was the virus.
Oh, the Legacy virus?
Yeah, with when Cannonball sacrificed himself for the cure to
Colossus. Colossus sacrificed himself.
But
for it.
Cannonball was there. What was Cannonball doing? He was on. I can remember. I can literally remember the phrase.
Okay.
The frame. The whole Legacy virus thing was like really. That was when I was like, I would buy comics every once in a while, but that one was like I was paying attention. Clearly not enough to remember there was Colossus instead of Cannonball. Cannonball was doing something.
You know, he's booming around, flying.
I just remember
there.
him was like he was like all like in the med bay, like all like piped up, and like they were gonna. I can't remember. But yeah, that was like my first. That was when I was really paying attention. Then that was just kind of it.
When I asked my parents when I started collecting comic books was mid 90s, maybe slightly early 90s, and I started going to the comic book shop, my local comic book shop, and discovered that there was a current maxi series going on. So I asked for the entire run of the Executioner song, which is when Strife showed up to Cable's evil twin, psychic twin or whatever. They fought on the moon and all sorts of weird stuff. Like, I don't understand basically anything that's going on, but these look awesome. These guys are fucking ripped. Some of them don't have feet. It's very weird, but like, this is great. And I got, I think 1 or 2 X-Men 1, a Jim Lee's cover of the first X-Men, that 90s run of X-Men with Jim Lee. Yo, I read all of the X books until
in the 90s no one was doing it better.
No, they really weren't. They weren't.
Well, that's what's so funny about like the Avengers and everything, and I'm like, because every time I'm like, man, I was like, they're like, oh, you didn't really read Avengers comics? I was like, no one did. I was like, that was not that was not the book. There's a reason that Sony didn't buy the Avengers from Marvel. There's a reason they bought Spider-Man and X-Men.
Yeah, they were shopping all the characters around, and nobody picked them up.
Yeah. Oh man, but I didn't really like this movie that much. But after rewatching it and really thinking really hard about how I would fix this movie, I have a lot more respect for this film than I did going in.
Oh yeah,
it's like the exact opposite of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that we just did, because I was just like, oh, this was way worse than I remember. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
In trying to get better, in trying to form this better, I was like, the X-Men universe is too big for a movie franchise.
Yes, it is.
And and it's a really troubling, because all the places that I would try to jump in and be like, well, let's tweak this, and I'm like, yeah, but what does that mean for, okay, but there's all these other people that would affect in a way that doesn't work.
Yep. This is a sticky wicket. The X-Men,
and if you were to switch bad guys, all their bad guys are too big.
Yeah,
they're too big. It's like you can't do Mr. Sinister without it being a whole thing. That's what we found out with Age of Apocalypse. It was like, you can't do Apocalypse in just one movie.
Nope.
No,
you can't.
Apocalypse is like Thanos level.
Yeah.
You can't just do that.
Nope. You can't just introduce characters in this movie, have them become the Archangel. No, that is our character's name, but
the Four Horsemen.
Thank you, the Horsemen of Apocalypse. Meet them, and they become the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse in the same movie, because there are no stakes there. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
So yeah, it's such a big, vast universe in and of itself. That's like, where's your entry point into this?
Yes. Well,
because there's such their stories are so grand and sweeping.
Yeah.
How do you even start? So,
as much as I didn't really love this movie when it first came out, it's mostly because they just don't really use their powers in a
No, they
way.
really don't.
That's really a director's problem, because it was just like, I don't need to see Cyclops blow the roof off of Grand Central. I do want to see Cyclops straight waste some fools.
Yes.
Yes. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I just need him to be like, ah! Like, I don't. It was all environmental stuff in a way that I was just like, no, it's when Wolverine fridged the dude in X2.
Oh,
That was the moment where I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is. Yeah, you can't have Wolverine in this and not have him chop some guys to bits, because his power are metal claws.
Yep.
He's someone is gonna have to get clawed. I understand that like we don't want to make it too violent. I'm like, then don't put Knife Man in
Yeah.
the movie if you don't want anyone to get stabbed.
Well, his power is a regeneration. Nah, his power is the power to stab.
That is
a lot.
Yeah, that is like saying like, oh, like Star Wars Jedi, yeah, with their Jedi mind tricks. No. The laser sword, please.
Yes.
The laser sword.
So Jay, fix it.
All right. Okay. My jumping off point for X-Men 1 and how we're going to tweak it.
Okay.
My biggest issue
Yes.
with X1 is that it is the first movie in a franchise, and it is not an origin story by any means.
You are, if anything, it's the origin of Magneto, and that's it.
That's it.
He's the only character that gets an origin.
This movie jumps in media res, and this movie assumes that you know who all these people are.
Which,
Now, granted, we do.
yeah.
Let's be real, we do. But it is... we don't really get to know any of these characters. I am going to morph in what worked from First Class.
Oh god, I thought you were gonna bring in Morph for a second.
No,
you're gonna
no,
bring
no,
Morph
no,
into
no.
this? Oh my god, an animated series original character? Ballsy, dude.
Yeah,
Ballsy.
right?
You're bringing in Gold Balls? Dude, Gold Balls is the best! He's egg now, I know. I'm reading the Krakoa stuff.
That
I'm
is the
reading
most specific reference. Like, that's for like 3 people. If you're one of those 3 people, enjoy.
I think a lot of people are reading the current extra, and it's very, dude. It's
No, I
very
mean, it's
good.
really good
I
right
don't
now.
want to get too far into it. It's very good. Really read it.
I think we start in a similar time frame to First Class.
Okay.
I really, really love the idea that Eric and Charles create the school for both of them together.
Yes.
I like that they both see they're both in the 60s. They're activists for mutant rights.
Sure.
They start this school, and I think honestly this movie opens with Charles giving a speech to Congress.
Oh, okay. So
And
similar to Gene being in the front of Congress
And
testifying.
I think we can this whole speech. I think we're playing the whole speech, but then we're cutting into flashbacks of him starting the school, realizing like we get how Charles discovered his powers. Like hello, thank you for having me, Congress. I'm Charles Xavier. Here's when I discovered my powers as a mutant.
Oh, okay.
And you can use that structure to get us up to speed on Charles, get us up to speed on Eric, and get us up to speed with him starting the school.
Yep.
And I think he's very clearly like working with lobbyists and things like that. And we see that like they have kind of swayed Congress, but they're very clearly not totally on board.
Sure.
And
it's like a thin majority for whatever cause for mutant. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I think like what they're doing is working.
Yes. Okay.
And then I think we set up a situation where Charles starts working with lobbyists and certain like this is getting like wildly too political, I'm realizing right now, but we'll go with it. Like one of the what's the word I'm thinking of? Like they have like the small councils, the boards in Congress, like
committees.
Committees. Talk to like, the Civil Rights Committee or whatever.
Yes, yeah.
We created this committee for you. And then working with smaller lobbying companies, one of them being the Friends from Humanity, that is like trying to assimilate mutants into regular culture.
Okay.
And then we finally see them starting the school, and we see Charles and Eric Charles eventually builds Cerebro,
Right.
and then they start finding mutants.
Yeah.
I think like they start with Jean.
So there's nobody. There's just
nobody.
Charles and Magneto at the
Just
beginning.
Charles and Magneto.
Oh.
And they've got to start finding people.
Oh, so it's this. Oh, okay.
I think there's a way to do this through montage.
Oh,
But
so
this,
okay, I see what you're saying. So like, when Charles goes to talk to Congress, like he's already assembled some students for the school, but we are flashing back to see.
we are flashing back of them. Yes. And then we find out that like through finding the students and things like that, a really important scene is that we see like Charles finding it like an adult with like an insane, maybe like marrow or something with like a power that's like a little bit off the beaten path, a little weird, but they don't want help, and they can't, like, they can't come to the school.
Sure,
because they're adults.
Well, he's too old. We can't train him as a Jedi. He's already set in his ways.
100%.
Gotcha.
And I think that's where we start running into problems with Charles and Eric, because I think it gets to a point where Eric tries to use Cerebro, because he's like, there are so many people that need our help out here, and if I can even have a glimpse into where some of these people are, I'm going to go help them. Obviously, doesn't go well.
No.
Charles enters... I think Charles enters the Cerebro space through Eric's mind, and that's where Eric is like, feels completely violated, because Charles had never been completely in his brain.
Oh, that's a... Because, yeah... Oh,
and that's where the helmet
good.
comes from. Then I think we see Eric go, like, get enough information to go start finding some people that maybe
older people
who like
18 plus,
displaced people.
Yeah, great. Okay.
Because he sees people being hurt and people being persecuted against, but like what Charles is trying to set up doesn't really have a place for him.
Sure,
a place for those people.
Because Charles is more focused on the kids and
the future. And Eric is focused in the now. He was like, these people need our help now. And Charles, sorry, I didn't necessarily explain that as well as I could. Charles is way too concerned with the future. He's collecting this group of X-Men. And then I think Eric's stuff starts a little bit more, it's a little bit more grassrootsy, like in Rise of the Phoenix. Or the most recent Phoenix movie,
Dark Phoenix.
Yeah. But I loved the idea of Eric on that like kind of commune.
Oh yeah.
And he's trying to like help these people there. But I think it comes down to that the government attempts to raid it.
Oh no.
And I think they actually collect. I think they actually capture Eric, and they find his helmet. And they're like, "What is this helmet for?" And he's like, "That's to keep Charles out. That's to fight Cerebro." And I think these government types and the friends of humanity, quote unquote, are, "What is Cerebro?" And they're like, "Oh, well, that's how." Maybe it's not even Eric, because I don't know if they could even capture him, because he's
awesome.
What are they gonna do? They all have guns.
What are they gonna do?
What are they gonna do? Maybe it's like a second in command. It's like, oh well, that's to fight Cerebro. What's Cerebro?
That makes more sense. Yeah.
And I like the idea of, all the while this is going on, and it's the one thing that I love about X-Men that I don't think they've ever fully like leaned on, is the school is really cool.
It is the best thing.
I want the X-Men in this movie to be the original X-Men.
Yeah.
I'm talking Jean Grey. I'm talking Iceman.
Yep.
I am talking Cyclops.
Yep.
I'm talking Beast. Angel.
Yes, absolutely.
And I need them to be teenagers.
Yes.
I need them to be teenagers. I need other mutants at this school. There can even be a montage of Jean Grey, showing a young Jubilee the ropes of this school, even though she's nowhere near an original X-Men, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
You got to have Jubilee in there. Specifically, this movie is not, I repeat, not And here's one thing you will never get past producers. And I'm aware if you're making the first X-Men movie, there are too many toy sales on the line. There's no Wolverine in this movie. Wolverine is not in this movie.
Nope.
He's not here.
There's no place for him here.
There's no place for him
Not
here.
yet.
And I think we see Charles setting up the school, but also taking this original team and attempting to turn them into what we know as the X-Men. He's saying if mutants are going to be seen favorably by this society,
Yep.
we need to create a team to show them that we can use our powers to help them.
Yes.
And that they are going to need us.
Yep.
Like, there may be some mutants that go bad or things like that, but we need to show them that mutants and humans can coexist.
Yep. We can be a force for good.
We can be a force for good. And I think at the end of the day, what's going to end up happening is like the X-Men are going to... Obviously, Magneto's got his stuff going on, and I think it's starting to escalate. There we go.
It's X-Men.
Escalate. I think that's what it was.
Escalate.
And I like the idea of the X-Men going out and trying to like fight Magneto's situation, like whatever's going on, and them not being very good at it. And I like the idea of there being some teenage romances here and there.
Oh, sure.
I would love to see some sequences. Hell, even the first time we see them in a fight, we realize it's the Danger Room.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
And it doesn't go well.
No, it shouldn't. Well, the first book, they lose. Like,
Yes.
the X-Men lose against the Krakoa, where they're currently living right now, and they need other X-Men, where Storm and Wolverine and I think Colossus and
Yeah.
a couple others show up for the first time to save the original team, so they shouldn't be good at it.
Yeah. And I just like the idea of there's a lot of dynamics you can do with all the different characters. I haven't necessarily thought out like everyone's personal arc.
Oh, sure.
But I think there's some X-Men on the team that like maybe realize that like, you know, I think Angel is the type that's just like, yeah, I shouldn't have to pick a side. Why do I have to?
Yeah.
Can I just exist? Is that okay? Like you have Cyclops, who takes this entire thing way too seriously.
It does.
And he gets some other people hurt through it, like him being too rigid. There's a lot you can do. Obviously, Jean's got her own issues, but
Are you teasing the Phoenix in this movie?
no, absolutely not.
Okay.
Phoenix's third movie, maybe. But I like the idea that the powers that be, realizing that Charles has Cerebro and he can identify every mutant on the planet through Cerebro, realize that they need to seize that technology.
The government would want that.
And it's very much a red tapey PC, like, oh well, this will give us the ability to like make sure that like everyone, and then it's a gross misstep. And then I think you have like the finale of this movie, and I know this hasn't been as in depth, but I have really been racking my brain over this. I think the final fight of this movie is the X-Men teaming up with the Brotherhood, fighting against the powers that be, to stop them from getting Cerebro.
Oh, okay.
And they all work together, and they realize there's Brotherhood of Mutants, even though ideologically we're different. But I think that like this group is a little bit more a Splinter Cell, and so like when everything goes down, you know, the smoke clears, and then you have like the actual quote unquote, you know, authorities show up. You have a moment where Charles has the ability he basically like has Eric dead to rights.
Sure.
And could just turn him in, but he lets him go. He's just like, we'll figure this out later. But mutant, it's gonna be basically we're setting up. It is mutants. Mutants are on the outside looking in.
Yes.
Regardless of what side they're on. Like, hi, we're the X-Men. We're gonna show up and help you, regardless of the fact that you don't totally trust us or like us.
Yep.
And the mutant and the Brotherhood is like, we're trying to live separately, but you won't let us, so we will fight.
We're trying to live peacefully with you, but if you come after us, we're going to fight back because we can. How dare you? We have not harmed you. You are attacking us. We are going to defend ourselves.
But an X-Men field trip, a high school field trip to like a camping trip over the weekend, and all them sitting around the fire, like talking about how they got their powers.
Oh, sure.
Talking about like shit, like trauma bonding.
Yeah.
Like, I need that. I need the origin. Because that's the thing that about First Class is, like, actually a good movie. It's just all the mutants in it are bad. They just got all the bad ones.
Darwin shouldn't have been able to
No!
be killed. You can't kill Darwin.
You can't kill Darwin!
That's kind of the reason why his powers exist, because you can't kill him.
That's the whole point.
That's the whole point.
The only thing about those movies that totally work are Charles and Eric.
Yeah.
They completely work.
Yeah.
And also Banshee was pretty cool.
Yeah, he was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's woof.
So that's how I'm thinking I'm gonna fix X-Men.
So you had the Friends of Humanity kind of be like the social pressure against them, kind of leading the charge a little bit.
Yeah, but I don't think we need to leave too heavy into what they actually are like in the comics. I think it's more of just like they are more an example of government overreach.
Sure.
And like, they're all buddy until they're like,
wait a second.
Wait a minute. You can do what?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that ain't. You didn't tell us about that.
Wait a second. You know,
this would make our job so much easier. Yeah. Because I think it's all just about registration. I don't even think it's about really like persecution to be said. It's just like, it's, and Eric makes this point over and over again. He's like, you have to stop the first step. Because if you don't stop the first step, then the second step comes, and
it's
then
a
the
little
third,
easier, and it's a little
it's
easier, and then easier for them, harder for us. Yep.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I've been.
So a much lower key, smaller T threat than.
And here's the thing:
what the movie had.
I know in the time frame that this movie came out, what Hollywood looked like.
Oh sure.
What a comic book movie, what expectations were set upon it. This movie will never.
Scale,
I'm
character-driven movie that's probably 2+ hours. There's no way.
Yeah.
Yes.
But also, I want to see some mutant. Man, if you set up a character with laser eyes, I need to see him blast somebody.
Oh, somebody.
Not
the roof.
Nope. Not a roof.
Somebody.
Not a target dummy. I need to see.
Not yet. Not clay pigeons.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I need a Sabretooth to take one right in the solar plexus.
We need to see it.
Yeah.
Actually, like, not just a clever cut that says like, oh, denotes force from one side of the screen. See the beam impact and push them hard through something.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, that doesn't really happen in the movie.
Yeah.
It didn't happen in the movie.
But Adam, how would you fix X-Men?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. Whereas you had a problem, kind of like coming up with like, wait, how do I fix this movie? I had no problem.
Oh, okay.
Whoa. I had no problem. From the second scene. The first scene of this movie is fantastic with Eric during the Holocaust.
Yeah,
like that is both versions of the franchise had it. First Class had it, and this movie had it as well. I mean, that's the perfect place to start the X-Men story.
Well, because it also, and that's what makes Magneto one of the better comic book bad guys of all time, is because you understand him
immediately.
You know where he's coming from. It's his worldview is justified.
Absolutely justified. Which is also, small side note, this is the problem with Magneto, because now it is 2022. We are 80 years away from the Holocaust.
Yeah.
So, like, Magneto is a very relevant character, and the Holocaust is still very relevant.
Yeah.
But, like, it's hard to have a very relevant character's origin story, have him as a 10-year-old boy during something that happened 80 years ago.
Straight up, I'm gonna retcon this right now.
Oh.
He controls metal. There's metal in your blood. He just ages slower. Done. Ta-da!
Great!
Ta-da!
Perfect!
Ta-da!
I just need something. Yeah, just need something.
He's biologically immortal, Magneto.
There you go.
Yep.
Great.
Like a lobster.
Like a lobster. Yep. Yeah. Sure, it's got part
they
lobster
still got
powers.
a red exoskeleton. Come on.
There you go.
Yeah.
Great. Fantastic. Fixed. Okay. So, starts the same way. Eric during the Holocaust, he bends the fence. It's like, what the heck's going on?
Yeah.
Perfect. And then, again, we start the same way. Now we're in D.C., and Jean's talking to Congress at the committee.
Yeah.
Same basic intro, right? but mostly the same scene and mostly the same dialogue from Senator Kelly, who's like, I think we should need the registration and rah 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 rah. Maybe we get a little bit more interaction with some other senators. Maybe like one who's like, wait a second, I think that might be overstepping our bounds. It's like, no, they could be a menace. We gotta be safe. Blah blah blah. There's some dialogue in the scene between other members of Congress.
Yeah.
And then we go back up to Charles and Eric on the catwalk, or walking away from the thing. And here's where the first changes happens. It's in that scene, because in the movie, Eric just says, I'm gonna stop them. This is this is Charles. You knew this was happening. We're gonna stop it.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop it.
Man, I forgot how much just in media res this movie just starts.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, oh, yep, it's just another day here at the X-Men school. Oh, okay.
Oh, here's the other thing. I forgot to add this part. I wrote like a whole.
Oh, I
realized, oh my god, I've written paragraphs on how to fix.
Oh my god!
While I was watching the movie, I was writing.
Oh
I was writing a new version of the movie. So while Gene's talking, we are going to. Actually, it goes from the Holocaust to footage of like Rogue, just like Rogue's scene, which is fine.
Oh, so you're keeping Rogue?
I'm not, but just Rogue's scene,
okay.
just Rogue's scene, and then we cut to security camera footage of a couple people playing poker, and then. Maybe we hear we can hear it over. Yes, and someone's like, "Oh, you're cheating." It's like, "Mon ami." No, I'm not. And then he's like, he pulls a gun, and then you just see the cards light up, and then explosions. Cut to something else. Maybe like a kid in high school in a science class, and all of a sudden he like does something with his hands and fire.
Oh, so this is at the speed. This is at like a.
This is during. This is.
I see.
This is during like.
So you're showing how mutants are actually kind of are
around.
Like, how it's around, but it's also like. Maybe there's something
here, but like we see other mutants existing. We can see their powers. He's like, oh, that's Gambit. Oh, that's Rogue. Oh, that's Pyro. We can just see them being around. And they're like, see, they could be a menace. And Jean could be like, well, we need a place, the same basic, then the scene plays out, what have you, right?
Okay.
So then Eric and Charles go talk on the catwalk, and Eric just walks off and is like, I'm going to stop them. And that's the wrong note. That's where my first change is for really. Is it's going to be more like First Class.
Oh, yeah.
Because all you need to do is change the dialogue to Eric saying, Charles, it's what we feared. It's happening again. I can't let that happen again.
Yes. Oh, I just got goosebumps you saying that.
Because then the whole tone of the movie changes.
Yeah.
Because Magneto's no longer just a bad guy. He's like, no, like... Of course, after what we've seen, his origin is like he knows what's about to happen.
That's what makes the best bad guys. Is like the ones where you're like, oh, okay. I mean, yeah, I would fight to the death for that too.
Yeah,
like ideologically speaking, yeah, I get, yeah.
So Eric's like, I'm not. Just makes a reference to the Holocaust. And it's like, I'm not gonna let this happen again.
Yeah.
And Charles is like saying, like, no, we can fix this. There's still good in them. Like we're not
also,
there yet.
We're not there yet, but we also have all of the tools to get there. If you just like let us do it.
So then, after Eric walks away, the committee meeting ends, and as the committee meeting ends, we see an aide for Senator Kelly come up and whisper something in his ear, and we, the audience over here, Project Sentinel's ready for your approval, sir.
Oh yeah!
And then he's like, and then they scuttle out of the room.
Okay.
So then we follow Kelly to an undisclosed area, maybe at the Pentagon, maybe somewhere else or whatever. And it's like, oh, holy crap, they're talking about Sentinels.
Yeah.
Oh, because like this registration was just this first small step. We have a secret black box thing of Sentinel because
we know people. Not everyone registered, so registration is like already happening.
No, they're talking about it.
I see.
But Senator Kelly's just getting ahead of the situation. As senators do in movies, they have lots of power and can get ahead of things and somehow make secret organizations inside the military. We're just gonna go with the trope. But they are working on Sentinels, which is, let's be honest, the movies never gave us proper Sentinels.
No,
not even Days of Future Past. They did not give us proper.
They really thought
Sentinels.
that through, and they really thought they were giving us something.
They
cool.
really thought they were, and they didn't.
And it just didn't work.
It didn't work. The '60s versions of them were stupid. It did not work. The cool future ones were too OP. We did not get a proper Sentinel fight in any of the X-Men films.
Yeah.
It's we got Apocalypse, we got 2 Dark Phoenixes, we got The thing the X-Men fight, the most famous bad guy, not Magneto, are the Sentinels.
Yes.
How?
Because they're street level, too.
And they are a lower level threat, which could build obviously to like Nimrod and stuff. But like this is just a lower level threat, and they even teased us in that Danger Room scene in what was in 3 or 2, when Colossus chucks Wolverine up, but it's like in the Danger Room. But it's like he throws him up to the sky, and it's all foggy, and then the Sentinel head rolls to the ground. Like, nah, man, you didn't show us him cutting off a Sentinel head. Are you?
It's already a robot.
What are you?
It's already a robot.
What are you doing?
We're following Samurai Jack rules. You're allowed to slice up robots.
So this movie's about Sentinels. This movie, I'm just giving you the goods. This movie's about Sentinels.
Yeah.
So
and because you can also see everyone using their powers.
Yes, you can everyone using their powers.
Yeah.
And that makes it's a lower level threat because the Magneto's plot in this movie is too clever by half.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, if I make world leaders mutants, then maybe they'll see us differently. You know what? That's a sure. That's a writer's room smart idea.
Yeah.
But that does not translate well to good action.
Yeah.
Because like the X-Men need to fight against injustice and bigotry.
Yeah.
And the movie that we got, they're just fighting Magneto.
Well, they also could have shown us. I actually like hate what happened to the senator in that.
Oh yeah,
because he just like turned to goo.
He just turned to goo and then turned to water and never learned a lesson.
It would have been a lot more compelling if like he had sprouted wings or something and was like fine, but was a mutant now. And there could be a point like because it like weakens Magneto's point because it's like he's gonna kill all these people. Like, where it would be like, it would be much stronger of a point where he'd be like, they'll all just be mutants like us. What's the problem?
Mm-hmm.
What's the problem?
Well, the senator never learned, like, what it's like to be a mutant. Like, if he did not die, and we actually saw him being chastised and driven out from the beach as a naked nude goo person.
And
like,
showing back up to Magneto's island being like,
but maybe you were right.
Maybe you were right.
Or maybe he's fine. He becomes a mutant, has some abilities or whatever it is, right? That's hideable.
Yeah.
But like is shunned by people who don't like follow politics. No, like he like learns the mutant lesson. Like, oh my god, people really hate us. Oh, this is what it feels like. Maybe I should change my tune. There's no lesson learned with him.
No, because it's not even. There's no journey. He's just gone.
He's just gone.
Yeah.
Sploosh.
Yeah. CG wise, pretty cool.
Yeah, it did great. But its storyline, like remember the movie is only 90 minutes long.
Yeah, it's not long.
It's 90 minutes.
Yeah, it clips. Well, that's the thing. X-Men has always been so ideologically strong that I don't think this movie is ideologically strong.
It's not.
Like, there's no... the whole point of Magneto is that you're supposed to kind of get him.
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted.
No, it's quite all right. No, it's a good tangent. So, Senator Kelly, Sentinels, blah 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 blah. Okay, great. This looks great. The prototype's good. You know what? It's time we send the prototype out on a test mission. Let's see. That girl that did something. Anne Marie or whatever Rogue's actual name is. By the way, Rogue does not refer to herself as Rogue. That's bullshit. She refers to herself as her first name. I'm Marie. Great. Her. Boop. Sentinel flies off to go take out Rogue. Follow Rogue. She's back in Canada.
Maybe that's how she gets her name Rogue because it's like Rogue Mutant.
Sure,
that's pretty
good. I like that
because I think like the Sentinel continues to call her Rogue Mutant.
Yep. Oh, where is she? Oh, she's not in Louisiana. Oh, she's gone rogue.
That's pretty good. She's like the first mutant to ever get assaulted by a Sentinel, and so she just adopts the Sentinel code name. Yep. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Like that.
So same thing. She shows up in Canada. She bumps into Wolverine. The Sentinel's just there to wreck shop and test itself by capturing/killing Rogue. And Wolverine shows up. That wasn't part of the parameters. We weren't counting on him. But
they also know who Wolverine is because of Weapon X. They're
yes, they do.
They're like, why is codename Wolverine in the vicinity? We wouldn't have sent the Sentinel there. Oh, and then cut to the camera footage.
So the X-Men show up. Same thing as the movie, right? I'm keeping a lot of things in the same movie, just changing the context.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So Cyclops and Storm show up. And they help beat the crap out of the Sentinel. Yeah. So the Sentinel fails.
Yeah.
And so they take part of the Sentinel back with them, with Wolverine and Rogue. Rogue is now gone from the movie. That's all Rogue's in the movie. She
Okay.
was just there to get...
That's enough, because
That's
she's not
it.
interesting
She's
until
not-
Mrs.
that's-
Marvel enters the picture.
That's it. She's done. She doesn't serve any other purpose.
She goes to the high school.
Yep,
Welcome.
welcome
You're
to
a
the high school.
sophomore.
Yep.
Ha-ha.
Welcome to the school. We can help you
Yeah.
out with your powers and issues. That is it. Now we are focused on the Sentinel. And that's when and Magneto then learns about the program through, like Sabretooth or something. Also, because he was there in the scene or whatever. Sabretooth saw the attack. And
Yeah.
now he's like, hey, boss.
Because he was hunting Wolverine.
A giant robot showed up, and I think we have some problems. Magneto then learns about Project Sentinel. And now public sentiment is... we see more of the public sentiment turning against mutants. Like, Senator Kelly is trying to ratchet up.
And it's working.
It is working, because, he's showing all of these scenes from, Rogue and Gambit and the Pyro, and maybe we can see some other mutants. Like Jubilee could, accidentally... We see other instances of mutants being portrayed in a bad light, and we see public sentiment going against them. Which means that Charles realizes we have two things on our plate right now.
Yeah.
The government is they're starting some type of weird robot assassin program against us, and the public sentiment's against us. We need to figure out a way to do a charm offensive to show that we can be a good part of society. So now he sends the X-Men out to try to help people.
Maybe there's a press conference.
Sure.
Yeah.
And Magneto is out there trying to be Charles, I told you. Now I really have the proof. And Charles tries to Magneto tries to come to the school to get that evidence of the robot to prove, see, robots, they're trying to kill us. We have carte blanche now. You are trying. The U.S. government is trying to kill mutants.
Yeah. This is a declaration of war.
Yep. It's all fair now. We're defending ourselves. So I think the X-Men and the Brotherhood are now on parallel paths trying to solve the same problem. Okay, so then basically the whole second act is Magneto and the Brotherhood versus the X-Men trying to find out what's actually going on with this Project Sentinel.
Yeah.
And the Brotherhood going about it through harsh means, the X-Men trying, a charm offensive, talking to contacts, whatever, trying to help mutants, using Cerebro to go around and to protect people.
Yeah.
Whereas Magneto's just trying to, Mystique goes in and, probably, clandestinely figures out where the base is and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it all comes to a head at the end of Act 2 when, the Sentinels are finally... And this movie takes place over, weeks or months. It's a whole, we have, maybe a whole summer of Sentinels or something like that, right? Of saving mutants and maybe losing some mutants as well.
Yeah.
Where eventually the Brotherhood and the X-Men show up at the same time to protect / save mutants from Sentinels. Which at this point, the Sentinels have gotten really good.
Yeah.
And people die. Maybe we lose someone on the Brotherhood. The X-Men definitely get their butts kicked, and I think a couple humans die as well. Just in the battle.
Yep.
Because the Sentinels are just trying to eliminate the target. And I think other people get caught in the crossfire. Innocent humans get caught in the crossfire. Maybe parents of somebody.
It becomes real.
It becomes very real.
Yeah.
Because now that humans are at risk. But the press spins it or Kelly spins it as mutants are a menace, and it's almost like registration's about to happen. We are a day away from the Congress, the House passing it, kicking it to the Senate, something it's about to happen. Now that the X-Men have, they put all the pieces together. Maybe the attack gave them that one last little piece of information. Mystique knew something about...
Beast figures out something.
Where they are, where this base is. And Magneto's going to attack. And he's going to go murder everybody at this base. And you kind of understand his point of, a young mutant just died in front of both teams and the press.
These robots gotta go.
Yes. And if any human working on them is also fair game.
Yeah.
So the Brotherhood's going to go kill everybody. Charles sends the X-Men to try to save as many lives as possible to bring this to a peaceful conclusion. And they butt heads at this base. And the Sentinels are awesome. And everyone's fighting each other. And then realize, okay, we are being overwhelmed. And by the way, and Charles is there. But everyone's in the field. So Charles and Mystique, I think, go meet up. Because everyone's kind of got the same goal. And they're Charles and Magneto, of course, have already... could be having it during the fight, or maybe a little bit in Act 2, just hey, we need to talk about philosophies right now, and what the outcome is if each one of us wins, and have that philosophical debate. That happens in the Dark Knight. That's one of the best reasons why the Dark Knight's so good. People are having philosophical discussions about the nature of justice and vengeance and anarchy. It's really good. And Charles and Eric have that either during the fight or right before the fight.
I straight up love the idea of them having it during the fight. I like the idea of chaos going, like Sentinels and all these different mutants just fighting all around them. But like it's just Magneto just hovering above the battlefield and a projected Charles just in the middle of all of this chaos, just having the real conversation. That's good. Again, goosebumps. That's really good.
So since Charles is not a combatant, let's say he's talking to Magneto while all the grunts, Cyclops and Jean and Beast and Angel and Iceman. Maybe he's maybe we have the original team or whatever. And Wolverine, Wolverine. And everyone's just fighting all the. It's awesome. It's a modern day Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Third act of fighting cool robots. And it's really awesome. Charles and Mystique find the information they need. Somehow, like, oh, Senator Kelly, like this whole thing's a black book. Like there's incriminating evidence that they find at the base. And maybe they also find Senator Kelly. But they find the thing they need to bring this to a resolution that does not have everyone kill each other.
Yeah.
The last Sentinel's destroyed. It's amazing. Charles and Magneto, and Kelly can also kind of just like have that last little like speech talk with each other, like, oh, you're gonna kill Saul. We have to protect ourselves from you guys.
Yeah.
You're a menace. He's bringing me pictures of Spider-Man. You're a menace. But like Charles like tries to get through to him and has makes some really good points, and Magneto's like, you attacked us. You sent that thing after 2 mutants, and a young boy died last night because of this, and
this blood is on your hands. We didn't ask for this.
So like, and he didn't even bring up the Holocaust. Like this, I lived through this. My story. I'm never going to let this happen again. And then like they can Kelly could possibly learn a small kernel of a lesson.
Yeah.
And then everyone goes their separate ways. Xavier brings the stuff that they found to the press. Public sentiment calms down a little bit as it comes to light that through a good charm offensive or good press spin, the X-Men are actually here to help people. Maybe this is where the press conference comes up. Like,
yeah.
Hi, my name is Charles Xavier. You may have heard of that. Actually, I'm a mutant, and I have a team here of young mutants who
These
are
are
here
my beautiful boys and girls.
to help
Do a dance for them, boys and girls.
to help humanity.
Yes.
So, like, the day is saved, barely. There are definitely losses. But Magneto is not the bad guy. You see his point. Yes. He's right on the line and could go either way depending on the situation. So registration does not pass. The day is, for the moment, saved. Some more kids show up at the school. Okay, we survived our first real public trial. The X-Men are a thing now. We're a public-facing group. Magneto's like, I'm watching. Yeah. You guys step out of line. I'm going to defend mutanthood.
Yeah.
Credits. Cool-ass 90s music plays. Hooray, everything is awesome. Credits stop. Oh, I built in extra credit scenes.
Oh, no, it's great. No, I'm just wondering where you're going now.
We go back to where the military base is.
Triceratons?
Triceratons. Yes. Back to the base. We see people cleaning up the base, and like just talking about, man, there's all these mutants came here, and like all these robots sweeping all these robot parts, and it's a one shot, like from aerial view, like a drone shot, transfers into some CG stuff. We just go through the base. We're seeing people clean up. We're seeing people like look at all these. We're like, well, there's cool robots. Blah, blah. We just snake down through like an elevator tunnel. Just keep going down to the sub basements of this thing.
Right, where are you going with this, counselor?
And all of a sudden, it's just we end up in just a black screen. And then after a pregnant pause, 2 red lights pop up, top third of the screen, and then some lights flicker on, and then you hear a robotic voice go, "Master Mold online."
Okay. Master Mold. Okay.
The rest of the credits roll.
Oh yeah.
To black, fade up on. One of the senators from the opening scene that Kelly was arguing with Jean, one of the senators that was actually pro-mutants, we see her probably, they're talking to her aides, and like about the outcome of what happened, and like, oh, the X-Men, that's probably a good thing. They like mutants should be putting a good public face forward, blah 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 blah. But I know I can hear the argument already from the other side, being that they're answerable to no one. They're rogue agents. They could do whatever they want. We have no way of stopping them from doing what they need. Maybe maybe the government needs some type of, I don't know, a force, or maybe a group of people that could step up in times of emergency to help out. Maybe X-Men. What if some type of X-Force? Boom! Boom! Done! Dude! I totally would!
You totally did. But Master Mold and X-Force was not where I thought you were going to go.
Because Master Mold will come in movies later. That's a tease for later.
What's Master Mold even do? I can't even remember.
He's a super sentinel robot that makes a bunch of robots.
Right.
That he will these all didn't work.
I was confused Master Mold with Onslaught.
Oh, isn't Onslaught the psychic projection of all the evil in Magneto and Charles's brain?
It's like a whole. It's so bad.
So weird. It's a weird thing.
When X-Men goes right, there's nothing better. Mm-hmm. When it goes bad, it's the worst. There's no.
What? Who? How?
There is no middle ground with X-Men. It's either the best comic you've ever read, or oh, Zorn was just How does that? Excuse me?
Strife is an evil projection of Cable's twin. Wait,
I committed 2 years to Astonishing X, and that's how you're going to do? Man, screw you guys. Screw you guys so hard.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, you definitely won.
I think we fixed it. I think either way we fixed it.
And I think that's, my dear listener, I think that's what you can take away from this, is that I think we all need to give when an X-Men movie goes well, I think we need to give them a little extra credit.
Yep.
Because it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard.
It's a lot to encompass.
There's too many characters. Mm-hmm. It's a lot.
Everyone has their favorites. Where's Gambit? We want Gambit. It's okay, well, he's in X-Men Origins. That sucked. Boo.
I'm also of the distinct mind. I'm of the mindset that the cartoon Gambit is the best one.
Yep.
And will never do it better.
Nope.
And it'll never live up to, because I think personally Gambit is about as fleshed out as it could possibly be in the cartoon. There's not a lot to him. He's not really that compelling. He just has an accent.
He's got a really cool power.
And gumption. He's got gumption.
Does he have
He can fly
gumption?
a spaceship. But other than that, not a lot going on. But just saying.
Well, how would you guys fix this movie? Let us know on Twitter.
Yeah, at PViewed on Twitter, at PViewed on Instagram. Let us know in the comments below if you're watching this on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
That we put this out on all the different platforms. We can even beam it into your mind. You don't even know.
Through Cerebro. That's where all the Patreon money's been going. A psychic helmet to beam everything, much like the Riddler did with his little baboober thing in Batman Forever. That's the technology. Cerebro out of our reach, but that little Maboober thing the Riddler did.
The Maboober
thing. Did the boop, did the boop.
We get it.
No, Jay, I'm going to act out more of the Maboober that only our YouTube audience gets.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you guys for being a part of the amazing Previewed Peaches community. You guys hold us down in the most amazing way. If you're not on the Discord yet, go to discord.gg/previewed or click the link below if you're watching on YouTube. We'd love to have you join that community. It's growing every day, and it's got the best folks on it. Thank you guys so much for listening. Next time we will be fixing insert nerd movie here something. This is a banked episode, so we don't totally know. And if you're watching this a year later, maybe, who knows? I don't know when this is going to come out.
Who knows?
We'll figure it out. We will see you guys
next week.
Next week.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Bye, guys.